Hello folks, and welcome to Paddock Pass, your pre-race edition for this, the inaugural round of the 2022 Formula One World Championship. And I've got to say, it feels great to be back. As is tradition, there is something of an air of a first day back at school on arrival here. But it's more than that, because the new era of Formula One has arrived. And with it, the eagerly anticipated new car regulations, which have been designed to help promote better racing. With clean sculpted lines, swooping rear and front wings, which should allow cars to follow each other more closely, new eye-catching 18-inch low-profile tyres, the return of ground effect, and a reduction of aerodynamic physical adornments, the new cars look strikingly different, all while improving safety and pushing the limit of technical ingenuity. So then, which teams have interpreted the rules most effectively, and which drivers will adapt to their new car the quickest, leading the charge against the rest of the pack? Only time will tell. As always, we can't wait for this season to begin, but for now, from us, that's your...
Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to a brand new video here today from F1 22. We have another preview build here in our hands thanks to EA and Codemasters, and we have got a career mode preview episode today. We're going to be doing some career mode races at the 3 different circuits that have been highly updated in this year's game, obviously being the Spanish Grand Prix, Australia, and Abu Dhabi at Yas Marina to end out the season. So this preview episode is pretty much almost like part 1, but also the finale of a career mode, essentially, as we're going to be doing driver career mode here, and we're going to be driving for Alfa Romeo alongside Valtteri Bottas. In the preview build, there's also a chance to check out my team career mode, but personally, I don't really want to spoil the experience of booting up the game for the very first time properly when it's fully out and getting started with our my team career mode. So that's why I've chosen driver career mode, because obviously since my team came out, we haven't really ever done much of driver career mode because it's kind of become a bit obsolete in terms of my team's a lot more interesting with your own team. But, you know, we haven't shown that much love to driver career mode on this channel as of late, so I thought, why not use it for the preview of the career mode here in this version of the game. So off the bat, we're purchasing a couple of upgrades on the R&D before the first couple of rounds of this season. Now, in this year's game, they have been updated. You'll notice the icons and the actual, you know, the physical name of the upgrades that you're doing. Some of them are very different actually now to correspond to the new era of Formula One. So certain parts of the car that maybe weren't even there on the cars last year are now there, and they're going to be part of the upgrade R&D path. But we're delving into the Australian Grand Prix then. Qualifying didn't go so great for me versus Valtteri Bottas. I think I'm having a bit of a Daniel Ricciardo moment at this point in the game. I'm still very new to it. I've not even done that many laps, to be honest, when I'm, you know, making these videos for you guys, because I'm still making other videos around these ones. So my time with the game is quite limited. So still getting to grips with the very different handling model, especially at lower speed with the throttle pedal, and then also just generally how the car reacts to everything around it, the curbs and the floor. So qualifying, not so great, but I'm hoping we can make up some places in the race and show off the wheel-to-wheel racing with the AI. So here we go then to 5 red lights to a brand new Australian Grand Prix in the F1 game. We have the new updated Albert Park circuit. It's a slow start for us, so Latifi gets us, and we're down to P20 into turn 1 though. Latifi barrels it in and probably makes contact with a couple of people, maybe some damage up the road as we try and go around the outside of Sebastian Vettel. He squeezes us though, and the AI, you'll notice, a lot more reactive, I feel, this year to, you know, where you're moving to, and they'll be quite punchy with you. Maybe at times I feel there's maybe some tweaking still to be done. It is still a preview build till we get to the full version. There are a few instances where they're maybe too over-aggressive, but generally speaking, I have enjoyed how punchy they are, and it's just a bit more of a challenge, really. You really have to work at when you're making an overtake, and if you easily leave the door open, they will go for the move. As we're now up into P19, we've got Sebastian Vettel down the inside. Couldn't get quite Alexander Albon, but now we've got a really good run on him at this new section, of course. We didn't have that right-left that tighter run into this chicane. We just had that long stretch that gave us a real good slingshot to get Albon down the inside into that high-speed chicane. Now trying to squeeze Daniel Ricciardo. Then in the brake zone, Ricciardo goes for a mega dive on Latifi. So that's what I mean, you know, as I try to squeeze Ricciardo to finish the move off on him, he just went, nope, I'm going to make a move myself on Latifi. broke so much later than me and was able to, well, try an attempt on the Williams car, but Latifi's doing quite well actually at the moment to defend, and so in the end of it, we actually had to just brace ourselves, and we have to wait for another opportunity to maybe overtake Ricciardo and Latifi, the two side by side. Ricciardo down the inside, bit of contact made. Latifi, a bit of dust being kicked up on the left hand side there, so he'll be a bit slow. Can we make this 3 abreast? We will do, in our very first ever career mode race on this game of any kind. 3 wide already on lap 2 as we go down the inside of the Williams. Ricciardo overtakes the Williams on the right hand side, so either side he was in a sandwich, being a lot slower in the middle there with the Williams car, and we're up into P17, and now we can chase after Ricciardo. This corner, so much more flowing. I had to kind of, you know, almost you have to retrain your brain of not changing down 2 gears at that right-hander, because I'm so used to it, my muscle memory so used to it. You can flick the car in 6th gear, let it roll through, and then you've got this long straight now before you get to the chicane. It's a lot wider, that part of the circuit now, so it aids kind of overtaking, aids kind of, you know, 2 to 3 wide moves potentially as we, you know, delve more and do more races at this circuit. But here, having a little look at Ricciardo and getting more confident under braking, but it's still something that I'm working on. I think you'll find when you guys try this game, braking is a lot trickier to kind of suss out because the car acts a bit differently at low speed, so it feels a bit twitchier, a bit more on edge. And then the same for actually mid-corner, then getting out the corner, the traction so much more harder and trickier to gauge with your right foot. So it's something that I'm having to second guess and just be a bit cautious on, not to spin the car out. But we make a lovely move, saying that, down the inside at high speed. I'm actually quite confident with the physics model on this year's game, so it's just about getting used to it really. But as we come through now to the last lap of this short and sweet 5-lap race, career mode race around Australia, Leclerc will win it. Of course, you guys may have guessed by now with the preview videos, all of us can only upload 15-minute videos at a time, so that's why I'm condensing these into short and sweet 5-lap races, because of course, you know, you want to see some action there, some Will Tour racing, but I also want to get through to all 3 of the circuits I want to show you today. So that was Albert Park, Australia. Now we'll go to Catalonia, Spain for the new Sector 3. But before we get through to the F1 action at Spain, actually, you might know we've got supercars on this year's game. Well, they're actually in the career mode in the form of Pirelli Hot Lap exhibition events. So we've got an exhibition event here in the Aston Martin Vantage here. We've got a bit of a slalom, this is. So we've got to go through these gates without tapping the cone. So you've got to be very delicate on the steering and very accurate as well when you kind of having to size up the brake, then accelerate and kind of just find a way through. And I'm not gonna lie, actually, you know, it was quite fun actually getting through this little slalom here. There's a little section later as we round up the hill for the next sector in Spain where the cones get very close. That one was bloody close as well, as I'm literally inches away from being disqualified and knocking the cone off. I think if you knock a cone, actually, it only takes away from the time, doesn't disqualify you, but we're trying to get the gold medal, which is a 1:32 to finish them on. All these slaloms go all the way up to Sector 3, so let's see what we can do. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of fun. I think, like when classic cars were in the F1 game and there were, you know, these random classic car events in between the F1 races, I think it's a bit of a novelty that will wear off after about a season or 2 if you're an avid career mode player. But initially, it is actually quite a bit of fun, and this is this section where it got a little bit tetchy as I was trying to go as quick as I can. Oh, so close to the cone on the right-hand side there. I was quite happy, actually, with my performance so far through all of this, and riding the curb in the Aston Martin Supercar Vantage, no issue compared to the F1 cars riding that curb as we go through up the hill. We're in the last part of this exhibition Pirelli Hot Lap Challenge as we are now on the final stretch, last hurdle, and there you go, finish. And we will get the gold medal, and now we'll jump straight into the Grand Prix race ahead of us. So you can see we qualified a lot better at Catalonia. I think, one, getting used to the car a little bit, but I think more so I'm way quicker around Spain than I was at the new Australia. Spain hasn't changed that much, just Sector 3, but it's a pretty poor start for us. I'm still very much unaware of the best starting procedure, to be honest, in terms of revs and how much throttle to give. It seems like the AI AI are very, very pinpoint accurate so far from what I've played, but I'm sure as I play more, as you guys play more when the game comes out, we'll suss it out and maybe figure out the best way to get underway and kind of get a jump on maybe some of these AI guys. But it doesn't matter. It gives us a bit of a race and a bit of fun to have as we now send it down the inside of Magnussen. So good double overtake on the two Haas cars there. We got Schumacher on the outside and then Magnussen on the inside, and now hoping to try and make a march on the two Alpines as Schumacher dives down the inside. You can see in the mirrors he's been spun round. Now that's what I mean by there's a few little moments I found where the AI can be a bit over aggressive. I mean, I don't know, could I have left him room? Maybe, but I had that corner completely. I was far ahead of him, so I didn't feel like it was necessary to yield the corner, unlike with Bottas here, who is now fully side by side with Ocon, and the rear end steps out for him, and we're seeing that a lot so far in any of the videos with the AI, that they're a bit more human-like in terms of the rear end. It seems to be stepping out for them, and they seem to be having oscillations just like the player can do, as we now try and make a nice overtake on the outside of Fernando Alonso there. Big dive on the inside to try and get to the apex first, squeeze him out wide, and we're up into P8. But that may just be where the overtaking action ends for us, because although Bottas was being held up by Ocon, I just could not actually match the pace of Valtteri and Ocon up ahead. I was keeping Alonso at bay and actually, very much had the measure of him, but we got close to Bottas here once on lap 4, very close, then up the hill, but then as we went on through the lap, him and Ocon started to pull away again a little bit, so I think we'll just have to settle down for P8 in this Spanish Grand Prix, but not too bad. Some points finally in our second race only in F1 22 driver career mode, and a nice look at the Spanish Grand Prix. I actually do enjoy the changes they made. In real life, I've always argued it didn't really make much of a difference to racing, but on the game, when you've got to drive the circuit, it's actually quite a nice flow to it now in Sector 3 with that longer left-hander that then sends you into the natural Sector 3. But we're now going on to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, so all the way at the end of the season, for the season finale of this career mode, part 1 and the finale, all in one. You heard it here first, but I'm going to show you guys the clip of the intro at Abu Dhabi, just to showcase Natalie Pinkham's commentary debut in the F1 games.
Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today.
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
So I'm going to say I very much welcome Natalie Pinkham coming on board. Nice breath of fresh air in the commentary box for the intro to the races here, as we now go to 5 red lights for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So we've gone from the start to the end of this driver career mode season in Alfa Romeo. We haven't seen the races in between. This is another chance for us to score some points. So very much like in real life, Bottas has been the team leader, scoring most of the points for Alfa Romeo this season. So it's a second chance for us, or a third chance really, in the 3 races we've done, to maybe score some points and contribute to the team as we send a massive dive down the inside at that new run into the hairpin in the same place, in the same style that Verstappen made a huge dive on Hamilton in the finale last season, and just using the fact that that corner is actually very open on the middle apex, so you can actually lunge quite late versus other cars and still make it. And then we make a lunge on Norris because we catch him napping because Perez is out of sync. We squeeze him out as we go over the bump. But yeah, Perez out of sync has been pushed down the order, so a bit of a mistake or something's gone wrong, some damage maybe, as we now battle Lando Norris as he comes back at us, the McLaren, through the entirely new Sector 3 here at Yas Marina. That long left-hander, no longer is it the Mickey Mouse chicanes there. And then even these corners are so much more cornered off and flowing, especially this second last corner. Pretty much almost flat and qualifying, little lift and then taking a lot of curb and then full throttle mid-apex to then get us through to the end of the lap. So a big change for Sector 3 for sure, and I actually, for one, like Spain, think it's actually improved the flow so much better for you as a player driving. Obviously in real life, debatable how much difference it really made, but in a game I think it makes a massive difference for you as a driver playing, and I guess it does in real life. Obviously for the real life drivers, probably they enjoy it a bit more, the flowing nature of it, as we now have a look at our new best mate Daniel Ricciardo. We've been stuck together like glue in this career mode so far, because I'm having a bit of a Ricciardo moment at the moment in this game, trying to get to grips with it and not fully up to speed, such as the way he is in the McLaren as well. But we overtake Rick Bobby up into P8, so we could match our position from Spain here. But then on the last lap, Albon, of all people, in the Williams, makes a dive around the outside. I think the Williams team have upgraded their car as I've gone through this season and simulated everything. So the Williams car a lot better now at the end of the season than they were at the start. So good to see the AI R&D upgrades working well, to be honest, here, as we now go wheel to wheel with Albon, trying to maintain P8 ahead of us. Bottas again held up with 2 Alpines as we give Albon a squeeze. Got caught up a little bit on his tyre and his front wing, I think. You know, the cars are so much wider now, especially in terms of just from the onboard camera. It's so much harder to actually get a bit of a 3D spatial awareness of where everything is. Leclerc, oh no, Sainz is going to win it actually for Ferrari, but I believe Leclerc has come second place maybe for a 1-2 for Ferrari to seal out the championship here, as Albon actually overtook Ricciardo in the last corner. That was insane. The AI racing each other right to the death, right to the last corner. But that has been then part number 1 and the finale of this F1 22 driver career mode preview, guys, in the Alfa Romeo. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Get subscribed for more F1 22 gameplay later this week. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.